A new chance to amass wealth presents itself each and every day. Is the bull market for XRP getting closer? The current pricing do not appear to indicate that this will be the case. Nonetheless, many people appear to expect that it will begin to increase in the not too distant future. What exactly is the reason for all of that excitement? Ripple is distinguished from many other cryptocurrencies by the fact that it places an emphasis on practical applications and collaborative relationships with financial institutions. Considering the fact that this emphasis is placed on practical use within the conventional financial system, it has attracted attention and spurred discussions over the role that cryptocurrencies play in mainstream finance. OpenCoin, which would eventually become Ripple Labs, was the company that gave birth to Ripple in the year 2012. Blockchain ledger is used for its operations, and it has its own digital cryptocurrency that is referred to as XRP. The major objective of Ripple is to make it possible for banks and other different types of financial institutions to carry out international transactions in a speedy and cost-effective manner. Ripple, in contrast to other cryptocurrencies, is primarily concerned with bringing solutions to the conventional financial sector. It does this by providing a method that is both more expedient and less expensive for transferring money across international borders. This particular cryptocurrency, which is focused on transactions, is currently at a value that is much lower than its maximum value ever, which is currently at 83. This is despite the fact that it has lofty ambitions in the payment industry. The value of it, on the other hand, has experienced a significant increase of 300% in just the year 2023 alone. When Ripple is trading at a low price, should investors buy it? And what is the potential range of the price of the XRP coin in the years to come? Now, let's concentrate on some of the most significant aspects that you ought to be aware of. In point of fact, the financial services business is notorious for the vast and complex restrictions that it imposes. The introduction of digital tokens, on the other hand, has resulted in a novel circumstance. The question of whether or not cryptocurrency should be classified as securities has resulted in the creation of a regulatory gray area. As a result of this ambiguity, it is not clear if a particular cryptocurrency is considered to be a security in accordance with the regulations that are in place. One of the challenges is that existing regulatory frameworks are not always well equipped to address the intricacies of digital assets. This presents a challenge. As a consequence of this, there is a continuous discussion and degree of doubt regarding the classification and regulation of the various cryptocurrencies. The lack of clarity that exists within the industry is a direct result of this uncertainty, which can have an impact on the manner in which these tokens are traded, taxed, or regulated by authorities. Regulation agencies are continuing their efforts to develop clear rules in order to manage the complexity that are occurring in the field as it continues to evolve. Ripple and its two key executives were the targets of legal action brought by the Securities and Exchange Commission in December 2020. The SEC alleged that Ripple's XRP coins were unregistered securities and filed legal action against them. All things considered, it would appear that the matter has been resolved after 3 years have passed. A decision made by a judge ruled that Ripple did not violate any laws pertaining to securities by issuing securities that were not registered. Additionally, the Securities and Exchange Commission's attempt to appeal this verdict was unsuccessful and was not allowed to proceed. This verdict marks a major step in the legal struggle, giving Ripple with a good outcome regarding its categorization under securities rules. Managing the regulatory ambiguity that exists in the cryptocurrency field continues to be a difficult task. As is the case with any growing technology, laws and regulations are always evolving, which has an impact on the cryptocurrency scene. It is important to note that although Ripple has recently achieved significant legal triumphs, the regulatory climate may yet provide difficulties in the future. Nevertheless, the efforts that the Ripple community is doing to advocate for their preferred payment system could potentially play a significant part in ensuring the payment system's continued existence. Support from the community and actions that are targeted at addressing regulatory concerns have the potential to significantly contribute to Ripple's resilience and its ability to overcome any future obstacles. Significant progress has been made by Ripple through the formation of partnerships with a number of banks and other financial organizations, demonstrating the effectiveness of its adoption. Over 100 financial institutions from around the world have joined forces with Ripple through its network, which is known as Ripple and Net. Santander is one of the well-known names that are associated with some of these institutions. The formation of these agreements demonstrates Ripple's capacity to entice well-established financial players to utilize this technology in order to facilitate cross-border transactions that are both more expedient and less expensive. Ripple's solutions are validated by the fact that it collaborates with such renowned institutions, which also indicates that the traditional finance sector is becoming more accepting of and adopting Ripple's services. Ripple's network holds the potential to be utilized for transactions by big financial institutions such as JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America, which is an intriguing proposition. The recent legal victories that Ripple has achieved against the Securities and Exchange Commission have the potential to greatly increase the level of confidence that key parties have in XRP Ripple. It is possible that the conclusion of legal fights may increase trust in Ripple's technology and its compliance with rules, which may make it more desirable to larger institutions such as banks and financial institutions. In addition, if Ripple continues to broaden its network and demonstrate its effectiveness in facilitating faster and more cost-effective international transactions, it may garner additional interest from large financial institutions that are looking for effective payment solutions. On the other hand, what is the primary reason that large corporations and financial institutions might decide to use the Ripple system in the future? For the purpose of sending money across international borders, financial institutions make use of a mechanism known as SWIFT. SWIFT enables them to communicate in a secure manner and ensures that the money is delivered to the appropriate location. These international transactions are handled by SWIFT, which is used by large banks such as Bank of America and JP Morgan, but it is not a perfect method. The fact that the intermediary banks operate in various time zones and have their own systems and procedures is the primary reason why SWIFT takes days or even weeks to complete. However, this is not the only issue that arises. The fact that the transactions frequently include the exchange of currencies on foreign exchange markets is another factor that makes the transaction more complicated and causes it to take longer. In addition, each of the intermediary banks charges a processing fee, which makes the overall transaction more expensive. Imagine a person who relocates from India to Dubai in order to find employment there. Not only does it take up to 5 days for them to send money back to their family, but due to the expenses that are incurred, it is possible that the family will not receive the full amount of money. In the grand scheme of things, the circumstance is not ideal. One of Ripple's primary objectives is to use its own blockchain technology to take the place of SWIFT, a system that banks use for international money transactions. Due to the fact that it is both extremely quick and effective, the technology that Ripple provides is an excellent alternative to SWIFT. It is capable of processing up to 1,500 transactions per second, and the time it takes to finish a transaction is only about 5 seconds. When compared to the typical international bank transactions, which can take anywhere from 3 days to a week to complete, this is a significant improvement. If Ripple were to replace the SWIFT system in the not too distant future, this would be one of the primary contributing factors. The current market value of Ripple is $35 billion, which places it in the 5th position among the most valuable cryptocurrencies in the world. That's all for now.